Okay, we're going to start looking at Chapter 2 now in the text. And Chapter 2 is really going to deal with how do we know how much crime's actually out there. We're actually looking at crime data. There's three major methods that we use to collect data or information on how much crime actually exists in society. The first one is what we call the Uniform Crime Report, or you'll actually see it advertised as NIBRS, National Incident-Based Reporting System. The second one is what we call the National Crime Victimization Survey, or NCVS. And the final one is what we call self-report surveys. Just to give you a brief overview of all three of these. The UCR is actually maintained by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and what it does is it bases the crime statistics on how many arrests are made. So this is what we call a known report. Essentially, this is how much crime we know is out there because we're arresting individuals for these. The second one is a victimization survey. What happens here is essentially we survey X number of households per year. We find out how much crime that they've had happen. We get that back and we compile it into a report done by the Bureau of Justice Statistics. The third one is where we actually survey people on have they committed offenses. The victimization survey actually asks, have you been a victim of crime? Whereas the self-report surveys ask if you have committed offenses. Just to talk with some of the differences here with the UCR and NCVS. When it comes to these, the UCR typically is going to show a lower crime rate than the NCVS, and you can see that in your text, and we'll go over that, what we call the dark figure of crime. In other words, a lot of cases are not reported to police. A lot of crimes are not reported to police, but they happen to individuals, and for one reason or another, they don't actually report them. So that's why the NCVS will typically show a higher crime rate than the UCR will. We're also going to look at several special categories of crimes dealing with elderly and dealing with women, and we'll look at some of the research and statistics on those. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me.